What's going on, my crypto family? Chris here. Want to bring y'all an update today of Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and DigiByte. Those are the four we're going to go over today. This is going to be a quicker update, but I need to point a few things out to you guys. And what's going to be important today is what type of reaction that we get. And does it come on volume, or is it going to be a low volume move trying to get back within this green trend line? And what you can see here is we have 2% candle close that we had yesterday below this trend line. Typically for a trend line break, you want about 3 to 5% for confirmation. So for today, what we would need to do on the bullish side is get back within that green trend line and finally get back over top of $10,000 and turn that into support, guys. And I mean, it's a trudge to even get back up to $10,000 because now we have overhead resistance at 9,832 is going to be a spot. Then we're going to have an area up at that 10,000. Then it would be that 10,500. So think about that range there. I mean, that is a lot of overhead resistance. And then we have a double top basically here that people are looking at. You can see that as well. And take a look at this volume. Volume was heavy to the downside. So now if we just have a little weak volume reaction here, guys, it could be another leg down to test this 200 moving average. And we have to be prepared for that, and we have to be aware for that. So, you know, in terms of the bullish side, that's what we have to do. We have to get back within my green trend line there. And we would have to turn this candle into some type of like bullish piercing pattern to where we basically go up more than half of this previous day's candle. And then we need heavy volume to get up over top of that, but I'm just not seeing it yet. Like we said, guys, we're at 9,162. So unless we defend this area that we're at now, I would most likely look to see us down around 8,051 at that 200 moving average to see what we do with that again. And guys, I don't want to back test that again. I want to break through $10,000 and turn into support as much as the next guy, but that's not what's happening right now. And we have to realize the fundamentals. We have to realize what we're working with right now. So that was about a 2% candle close that we had below that trend line. It was not that 3 to 5%. So we haven't had clear confirmation yet for that trend line break. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to actually move into the 4-hour time frame here and take a look at this. So same deal. What you're seeing is this downside pressure is coming on heavier volume, and this little reaction we're having is on weaker volume, guys. So, you know, I talked about this 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame at 8,662. That's going to need to hold. That's going to be the area, and also where we almost had kind of those tweezer bottoms on the one-day chart, where we started this little move to the upside here. That's what we're going to be looking at. But right now it's just a tough spot. We're at 40 on the RSI. We need to hold that as support. If we get trapped below that, a lot of times that can act as overhead resistance as well. You'll notice that, but we have lost on the 4-hour time frame the 50 moving average now, and we're getting pinned between the 50 and this 200. So that's where Bitcoin's going to have to decide here fairly soon whether we're going to get over top of 10,000, turn into support, or if it's just going to be that massive overhead resistance. And if it does, guys, things could get real ugly, because then people can say, okay, psychologically, you know, it could potentially fall to $5,000. We have to see if we find support off that. If we found support off that, then start working our way back up to get over top of $10,000. It's a process. I mean, that's what a lot of people don't understand. It is a process. So the fact that we couldn't get over $10,000 now, that showed the bears, hey, that is a strong overhead resistance, and here we go. And then people start shorting Bitcoin to the downside. And guys, I'm in the market to trade. You know, I know people get emotional when people short. That doesn't bother me at all, because it's about playing the market. Play it to the upside, play it to the downside, sideways, whatever it is. I think guys should absolutely be allowed to short any market, because that's part of the game as well. And it's smart. You know, when you're in downtrends, follow the trend. And that's ways for people to make money, as opposed to having to go off a reaction, something like this. So we have this fall, you try to jump in off this doji, you catch it, you try to ride this up knowing this is just going to be a little move and then most likely a dump to the downside. Excuse me. Because you're looking at that volume and you're seeing that. And these are just little tips I'm going to give you guys for the people who are here on this video, because I want to see people do well and I want to see people succeed in this space. But this is tough when now we have all this overhead resistance. You know, a guy like me who's sitting back, I'm not saying, hey, I need to jump in right now. I got to get me some, you know. And what's a guy with millions of dollars doing right now? You know, he's seeing a trend line break. Yeah, there's a lot of manipulation in this space. Sometimes they wait for stuff like that where it looks like, you know, everything's going to be bullish, then they dump the market, or vice versa. But that's the name of the game. guys, and you got to protect yourself. But, you know, for Bitcoin, this is just a tough spot, and we've seen a lot of failure, and what we need to hold for support is $8,500. If we don't hold $8,500, we're going to be down around that $8,000 pretty quick. That just is what it is, guys. We'll definitely back test this 200, and that's at $8,051, and we would need to hold that. That'd be very important that we hold that. And that's just my opinion. So if you get some from that, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. People who put exclamation points, thumbs up, hashtag, any of that just helps out with the algorithm. I appreciate it. And what we're going to do is move into Ethereum next. And we're going to take a look at Ethereum on the 4-hour time frame as well. Each one we're going to go into the 1 day, then we're going to look at the 4-hour. So for Ethereum, what we would need to do here, as you can see, is set this higher low. If this is to be a higher low, we're kind of in almost like a Harami pattern right now, but we need to wait for the daily candle close and see what happens here. But we had heavier downside pressure. The volume was heavier to the downside, and now what we're going to see is if this yellow downtrend line is going to continue to act as overhead resistance, or if we can get a trend line break. So we need to get back up over top of $205, turn that into support, then break over top of this yellow trend line. And maybe that will be enough to start getting us over top of $215. It's going to be strong overhead resistance as well that we would need to get up through to the upside. But that's what needs to hold, guys. This higher low right here is what's important. Okay, now if we break through that, I'm going to look at $175. We're called $175, and that's also going to correlate around the 200 moving average, just like Bitcoin as well. But same deal, you know, this is the potential double top. We went up, we tried to push up again, and we couldn't make it over top of that, and then the sellers jumped in. RSI right now is at 52. Volume, you know, we're looking for a big swell of volume coming out of here. That's what's going to be important. Now the technical analysis for Ethereum, we'll take a quick look at that on TradingView, if it'll pull up for me. So overall summary, 7 sell, 9 neutral, 12 buy. Oscillators, we have a 2 sell, 8 neutral, 1 buy. Moving averages, 5 sell, 1 neutral, 11 buy. So all in the short term here, we're starting to have some sell signals. In terms of our oscillators, we have a lot of neutral right in that range. And then in the longer term, we're holding a lot of those 20, 30, 50, 100 moving average, which is important as well for Ethereum. And then let's dig into the 4-hour quick. So with the 4-hour, even this, guys, you see, we basically had almost like a little hammer candle here, and then we actually had a bullish engulfing candle. But as we've went up here, this volume is not impressive. Volume will tell the story for you. It's something that I've really been studying a lot on, and I believe that you could study for a year and you wouldn't run out of things to study about volume and the importance and how it goes with candlesticks and all different types of stuff. So really watch these areas, guys. What we need to get over is that 205 and then eventually that yellow trend line if we're to make an upside move. Downside, it's going to be about that $185 for support, then $174 for support. So that's Ethereum, guys. You like me covering Ethereum, let me know if you're here for Ethereum. I always like to see if people are here for DigiByte, if they're here for Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Just let me know down low. I appreciate it. Then we'll go into Litecoin. Litecoin's at 43.77. Litecoin still made me nervous, as we've talked about here. We had this big pull down on extremely heavy volume. We've moved up. Volume's been lower. And now we've actually started some downside pressure here. You can see by the impulse waves in the volume here. So we're in that downtrend. We're getting stuffed right now in the 4-hour time frame by the 50 moving average. Starting to get a little selling there, as well as that 200 moving average to the upside. But if Litecoin is to start moving to the upside, we got to get up above $45, which is going to be around that 200 moving average, and turn that into support. And then eventually start trying to get up back within this purple trend line. But right now, this has been a valid trend line break. We tried to go back up, retest it. We failed, and now we're in a short-term downtrend. So you got to be careful if you're in positions right now. That's the best thing that I would tell you, is you need to be careful. And also the patient will be rewarded. The people who are waiting right now, planning their trade, planning their trade, trading their plan, all that type of stuff, they're going to be the ones who are successful. Because, guys, when you can take advantage of even swings like this, like you see up here in Litecoin as we were bouncing back and forth, from $57 to $63, that's a nice range to trade in there, and that's a good percent that you can really make if you're planning for these things. It's so important to plan for these things. So that's Ethereum right now, guys. Or I'm sorry, that's Litecoin right now, and that's at $43.72. But that's what's giving us trouble right there. I mean, we're just running into the moving averages, and we're getting stuffed. And that was on the 4-hour time frame, and on the 1 day time frame we're below as well. Again, this 50 moving average and this 200. So apart from us getting up above $45.70, guys, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, and we need to hold that 42.44 right now and just turn this into a higher low and then try to change the trend. But, you know, it's just a tough spot right now. Litecoin is up 2.39%. It just hasn't come on a lot of volume. And then next we're going to do DigiByte. All right, so DigiByte is getting a nice swell of volume here, guys. Take a look. So this would be if we could close today. And remember, you know, people take profits pretty fast in this space. But if we could close today with a bullish engulfing candle on heavy volume like that, that could be the area now, that nice higher low in this secondary term here, and then potentially start making a move back up to 0.02240 would be overhead resistance, and then it'd be up around that 0.02447 is going to be the spot. But guys, this is the thing about the cryptocurrency space. I mean, it's just insane that this type of volume and this type of interest can come in after so long of no interest. Take a look at this in this bear market. Just slowly, no volume, just getting chiseled away, and then all of a sudden, in one day, it can move more than the whole market moved that entire time. So that's what's impressive about this space. But what we want this to be like this is similar to here. Do you see how we put in a bullish engulfing candle on heavier volume, and then we start that next move to the upside? So that's what we need to do. We need to get over top of 0.02454, and we need to hold as support 0.01349 is going to be the areas for us. But that's a really nice strong move. The RSI is at 51 here. So we're just going to have to see if this will continue throughout the day. So that's on the 1 day time frame, and now you can see some selling starting to come in here on the 4 hour time frame, right up in this spot here. So there is some selling that's starting to take place there that we do need to be aware of. But that's how quick, you know, volume comes in. But you can see the tasks now that we have to get over top of, all these overhead resistances. That's how the game works, guys. Markets move in trends, as you can see. This beautiful uptrend here, and now we've been in this downtrend. So these are things we need to watch for. I hope you get some from this. God bless each and every one of you guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let me know down low what you're doing. I always love to hear it, so take care.